Hello, everyone, and welcome to Avatar: The Age of Unayo, episode 0, technically. We're very bare bones currently. We don't have character art or anything done. We don't have, I don't have the overlay set up. We're going to have all that ready for session 1. But for right now, we're just being casual with it. We're just having a good time. If you haven't been on my channel before, hi, I'm Emma, also known as Emma Panada. You can find me here on Twitch, where I host various TTRPG games, including Curse of Strahd, run by Matihi, and Bikes on Brooms, which is a game of kids on bikes / kids on brooms that I run. And this is our third game, unless I'm forgetting one. I don't think I am. No, I'm not. Okay, so those are the games we're running right now. I've been really excited for this one. All of us are huge Avatar fans, and then with the Kickstarter of Avatar Legends recently, I know we were just kind of excited to jump into a game. I was very excited to run a game, and although we only have the quick start, I think that's enough that we can run like a season 1 of kind of a campaign. So I'm super excited. But real quick, we're going to go around and I'm going to let the rest of my wonderful players introduce themselves. Starting from the person with Josh.
Oh no! I'm first again.
Who are you?
I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm your friend. I'm your friend Josh. I'm your good pal. I do this for the VOD people, not the live chat, as always.
That's true.
You can find me if you speak into 2 mirrors back to back and you say my name 3 times, and I'm summoned to roleplay with you.
Yeah, that's how I have to get you on every single time.
Yep.
You're not wrong. Next up, why don't we head on over to Matihi?
Wow, it's me, Matihi. Long time no see. Of course.
I was so hoping you were gonna say that, honestly.
You can find me on Twitch at Matihi, Mateehee. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Matty Matihi, Matty. The rest I already spelled, so hopefully you paid attention. You can also find me at my Discord, which is called Fridays at 7. We have just started up it is a Ravenloft game, 5e D&D. I'm pretty sure there's one space in each of those games. It's run by one of the people there named Danish. He is a great GM, wonderful. It's both on Friday and Sunday nights bi-weekly, and it'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 7 p.m. Pacific. So if you ever want to join a D&D game where you haven't played before, feel free to stop on by. We definitely support new people, coming on in. We're always happy to teach. And other than that, I don't know what else I'm gonna talk about, so I'm just gonna drink my red soup.
Okay. Next up, why don't we have Rose introduce themselves?
Hello. So I'm Rose. It's unlikely, but perhaps somebody may know me under a different name, in which case, please don't reveal such information. But other than that, I mainly don't have any social media presence, except that I hang out at Fridays at 7, where all the cool people hang out. Don't tell anybody, except tell everybody. And I'm one of the GMs there, and I'm joining Emma's game.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I haven't played a game with Rose before, but I've heard incredible things, and I'm really excited to have them in this game. And last but certainly not least, we have the illustrious, the famous, the TikTok sensation, Effie.
Really?
Hi, I'm Effie. That's a little bit too much of a grand entrance or introduction.
Never.
I am an artist on TikTok. You can find me there at Elorviel, Elorviel. I'm not gonna slow that down for you. And you can also find me on Instagram with that same name, but I don't have a lot of followers there, so nothing spectacular. But I am also on Fridays at 7, and do a lot of gaming there. So yeah, ta-da!
Yes. And Effie does some incredible, like, more on the realistic side art, and does a lot of fantasy and like D&D commissions and stuff like that. So if you ever need art for your character, throw some money Effie's way.
Effie did the art for the Lady Strahd for the Curse of Strahd game, if you have tuned in to see that and have caught a glimpse of the absolute momminess of Strahd.
She's a babe.
Mommy, excuse me.
Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry.
Mommy?
But
Sorry.
we're not in mommy land. We're in Flying Bison land.
Yeah, wait.
As someone who did not like watch any of your Curse of Strahd yet, like it
Dare you?
sounds very chaotic. Just gonna put that
No,
out there.
it's not chaotic at all. Well,
Mommy
with
Strahd.
with introductions out of the way, let me tell you a little bit about the Avatar world that we are going to be playing in. We all met up in a session -1 and kind of talked about like what sort of era are we interested in playing. We were like, Roku era, nah, there's not a whole lot of information there. 100-Year War, nah. Avatar, nah. Korra, nah. Kyoshi,
Ah,
nah.
big lady. Come on.
And so finally we decided that we were going to play after the Age of Korra. So this actually takes place 2 avatars after Korra. Korra had a relatively long and healthy life, and after her, she was followed by an avatar that did not have a very long and healthy life because they were killed. You'll find out more about the history of what happened with Korra and with this next avatar as I've written them during play, but kind of... Oh, thank you so much, Josh, for posting the Avatar Legends Kickstarter. Yeah, the Kickstarter's over, but if you want to see kind of more information about the game and the various like awards that were unlocked and stuff like that, then by all means go check that out because there's a lot of really cool stuff to look forward to. But yeah, so at the end of Avatar, I wrote this stuff so you would think I remember the name of the character offhand. Avatar Runo was the avatar after Korra, and what's important to note is that he was killed by a secret member of the Red Lotus while being in the Avatar state. So the Avatar was dead, and was continued to have believed to be dead for a period of about 30 years until news started spreading that a new avatar had been born, and that this avatar was traveling around with her brother. An important thing to note is that after the avatar was killed, the spirits that were living within the material world, because Avatar Korra kind of opened the spirit portals and allowed for much more communications between the spirit and the mortal worlds. The spirits who were in the mortal world kind of went crazy, for lack of a better term. They were uncontrollable. The spirit wilds grew long and vast. Republic City was largely completely taken over, and traversal through the world became much more difficult on foot. During this period of time, radio technology was improved quite drastically, as well as air travel, as a company called Future Industries has taken kind of control of the skies for commercial use, allowing people from various small villages and semi-larger towns to travel to different parts of the world safely without provoking the spirits. And then the other company, one of Future Industries' major competitors, Cabbage Corp, saw fit to really cater to the rich and wealthy of the world during this time. They created a flying city that houses many of the wealthy during this period where there is no avatar and the spirits are becoming very hostile. And now that an avatar is born, the spirits have returned to semi-normalcy, and while a lot of the rich people are still living up in that kind of flying city, some have begun to return to the ground and are facing the consequences of having abandoned all these people during kind of crucial times. Let's see. What else do I need to say? I think that's all I can say for right now. There's a lot of other information I could dig into, but I think that's good enough for giving you a slight taste of what's going on in the world and what the world is like. Large portions of it are covered in spirit forests or spirit deserts, and it's been largely reclaimed by the spirits. And now that an avatar is back and the spirits have calmed themselves, humanity is beginning to kind of reestablish connection with one another and see just kind of how much everybody has changed in these 30 years and how much society has changed kind of during all of this time. But right now, we're gonna go talk to each of my players and see who they want to play in this world, what they have in mind, what sort of characters they envision, and I'm just gonna ask them to describe their characters, say who they are, say if they're a bender, non-bender, weapon specialist, say what kind of their mission in life is right now or what are their goals, and then I'm just gonna ask some little questions to kind of help flesh them out a little bit. So let's start off with Effie. Effie, why don't you tell us who your character is and all that info?
Well, I don't know if I'm playing a she, he, or they yet because I was going to play a he, and I don't know if I can do the voice because everything in my head is like, no, you're not doing it deep enough, and I have limitations, unfortunately.
Listen, I'm terrible at voicing my characters, and I am never gonna judge anybody for how they voice theirs.
Well, I guess I have the issue of there's like a certain sound in my head and I can't match it, and so it frustrates me.
Okay.
Right
that's
now,
valid.
but right now, like, you know, I'll just call it a he. Is gonna be possibly Yifeng is his name.
Possibly Fawn?
He Yifeng.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going with the idealist in the playbook. And sort of an earthbender, definitely. And I know that we're not doing any sort of specializations yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to mention that I'll let you decide, like, if he does have any specializations. I think that'd be fun, and like in the future, if he does or doesn't.
Okay, so you don't want to say, like, I really want my character to eventually be able to metal bend. You would rather me kind of, like, come up with, like, can your character secretly do something badass, and eventually I'll reveal it to you.
Yeah, or, like, he just doesn't. Like, he's just a regular earthbender. I think that'd be a lot of fun, you know, to kind of have that, either the realization that, like, maybe he's not something special, but he can be okay with just, you know, being an earthbender that's good at earthbending or
Heck yeah.
decent. Or he's all of a sudden like, oof, I can move lava, you know. I also wanted to do a different take on, because I know one of the background origins is outlaw,
Okay.
and I wanted to kind of spin that, and so the criminal aspect of it is that he's a vigilante.
Okay. Got it.
So, vigilantism is not, of the law. So he's an outlaw.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been training with another vigilante who kind of, started the whole thing. And their whole goal is to kind of like fill in the void that the lack of avatar left behind. So, their whole thing is, well, we need balance, and the avatar was there to bring balance, and now we don't have an avatar. So obviously in the past 9 years that's changed, but I don't think that they would know that in the wilds, because he lives in the wilds.
You would definitely notice a shift in how the spirits behave, but your character could definitely interpret that like whatever way you would like.
Yeah, and I don't mind like even at the start being like, oh hey, there is an avatar, because I know like in what you had written, there's stuff that states that there's mention of them going, the avatar going places.
Oh, spoilers.
It's all good, don't worry.
But I kind of figured that like if need be, that could be a method that my character could be like, okay, well, I haven't seen it, how do I know that that's for real, or if somebody's just yanking my chain?
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see, what else do I need to state?
So could I ask a couple questions?
Yeah.
And if you think of anything else you'd like to say about your character, then that's like by all means say it. But when you talk about vigilantism, what do you think specifically your character is targeting? Kind of like injustices between like the kind of more wealthy people or the governing bodies of like towns that maybe like somebody seized power when all this craziness like started happening, and you're kind of helping more of the common people to make sure they get like food and everything that they need? Or is it more like helping with crime?
It's it's sort of a Robin Hood thing, sort of a fighting against criminals. I have it, like people trying to take goods from the people that need it, kind of thing. Okay. So like taking back that kind of thing, or like shady businesses that are hindering the smaller villages or towns or whatever that are kind of not in any sort of wealthy standard. It would be kind of that sort of aim. I did write in the background that those are kind of his targets.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. I think in all of our Discord conversations and stuff, there was little bits of information about how you live in the wilds, and therefore you know a little bit more than kind of other people about traversing the wilds while not getting attacked by spirits. This is more of a kind of like potential question. So you say you work with someone. Could that person potentially be kind of like a spirit bender in a way that like Unalak was in Korra, and that I mean Unalak's a piece of shit, we can all agree, but
sure,
he was very spiritually kind of attuned, and he had a bending style where he could calm spirits or even like anger spirits. Do you think that you were perhaps traveling with someone, or maybe you know a little bit about kind of like spirit bending in a way?
Can earthbenders spirit bend?
Yeah.
That. Oh, okay. Well, I guess yeah, that could be a potential thing to explore. Because I didn't think that earthbenders could have that ability, but if that is the case, then yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I definitely think that's an ability that really anybody can do.
I bet you it's
But
way
you have-
harder for earthbenders though. Like
Yeah.
that would be
Probably.
something pretty special for them.
It probably would be harder because, I mean, with waterbending, there's like a kind of sense of calmness and all this other stuff that goes with it. And then with earthbending, it's all like very forceful. So I think that would
you have
be
to
an
ground
interesting.
yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be like a cool thing that we could potentially explore if
Okay.
you're down for it.
Yeah.
Get more of a dust bender. Oh, crystal bender. Yeah, it's a good idea. Healing crystals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, did you have anything else that you kind of wanted to establish about your character? Like, where are they from? How old are they?
Oh, I did. Yeah, like they're obviously in the Earth Kingdom or whatever. What is it called now? Earth.
It's still
Because they're not a
like,
kingdom, right?
not really. It's still kind of like the Earth Kingdom, like, region. So,
Yeah. So in that area, and I'm definitely going to play somebody a little bit older, probably either in their 30s or 40s.
okay. Family or anything?
Well, I think perhaps either their mentor is either a father figure or their father. I haven't decided how tragic of a backstory.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Avatar.
okay.
We all have dead parents. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how else are you going to be able to, travel the world if your parents
as
are
a
there?
as a 30-year-old, your parents won't let you out of the house.
Tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Love that. I'm definitely interested in knowing more kind of like about your upbringing and things like that as well. What sort of events shaped you kind of in your childhood years and teenage years and all of that leading to where you are now. Because if my timeline is correct, let's see.
Your timeline.
Oh, my timeline.
Well, they were definitely born after the Avatar died.
Okay, so you're
because
kind of
there's
born
40 years.
into yeah.
Yeah, because there's I did the math. There's a 40-year gap between Avatar dying and new Avatar being born.
Supposed Avatar, alleged Avatar.
True. Yes.
There's a
So-
28-year gap between the last Avatar dying and this one being born.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
you-
28 years.
29, almost 30.
28.
Okay.
And
Well,
then
where am I getting the 40? Is it?
I don't know.
Maybe you just want to be old. You're an
Might
old
be
soul.
that the Avatar was born, but they aren't immediate. Like, it's still rumors until today. So technically, there's like a few years between the birth of the Avatar and
It's
when
been
the
Okay.
rumors would start.
Yeah,
Long
it's
week since you
been
looked at me.
40 years since between the last Avatar dying and the year that we're going to be playing in.
Okay. There we go. That's the 40 years. So yeah. With them being, and I think that I wanted to be somebody who didn't know about the past, like whenever the Avatar was there. So that's why I'm keeping it within that range.
Okay.
So her mentor definitely was there, and that's why like her mentor took up the whole mantle of vigilantism and kind of brought that into my character's life, and that's why my character is like, yes, this makes a lot of sense, heard stories from the perspective of the mentor, and so yeah.
Okay. I love it. Perfect. Beautiful. Next up, why don't we hit up and obviously audience, as between this session and the first session, there might be some more like background details about the characters that are filled out, more being written. It's not, I didn't put like a lot of pressure on the players to like have everything written and ready by session 0 or else. So yeah, don't worry too much. But out of anyone, there's probably one person that's the most prepared. As far as character background goes.
Who could that be? It could be anyone.
Josh, why don't you tell us about your character?
Oh no! Well, buckle in. This is about to be half the stream. Oh god. Well, I don't know. He's a firebender guy. Whatever. Sorry. For context, I've been talking about this character nonstop for like a month. I'm going to be playing as Sen. He's like 16, 15, around that age. He is going to play the wide-eyed dreamer of the group. I believe what's my character archetype again? I think it's the I think of it as the Zuko.
Successor.
Yeah, it's the successor because it's very much like the Zuko and the Asami kind of character.
Yeah.
Where like in order to introduce their character, you essentially have to introduce their clan or their lineage because their story is more about their lineage than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in order to talk about Sen, I've got to talk about Setsune, which is the Fire Nation clan. This shadowy kind of clan that's been around since like maybe the age of Avatar 1, the first Avatar. And like whether or not like you guys believe this to be true, firebenders do believe that they get more powerful when the sun is at its highest. But the Setsune clan believes that when the sun is like right about to rise or right about to set, that's when they're most powerful. And so historically, they've been used to do like some more kind of shady things in the Fire Nation's history. Like for instance, I imagine that they were probably the last emissaries sent to the Southern Air Temple just before the Southern Air Temple was destroyed. Like, take that as you will. They're historically like politicians,
the baddies?
Senators. Kind of like they don't think of themselves as that way. They think of themselves as like they were one of the royal clans before the Fire Lord Ozai became Phoenix King and essentially assumed all power, which oddly Zuko never really gave back to the ruling families, which is interesting, which is kind of a bone of contention for the Setsune clan. So, all that said, Sen was born at just the wrong time, or just the right time, depending on how you look at it, where all these little family prophecies, they believe that there's going to be someone who is born at just the right time under the right star or whatever that's going to bring their clan to prominence again, like the most powerful bender possible. And they get right to work with him, with Sen, and he's been basically training to be that all his life. The only problem is he cannot bend. He is a non-bender, has not bent even once.
Love it. Yeah. I'm curious because I've heard about your bodyguard, which if you want to tell the audience about your bodyguard a little bit, you totally can. But I'm interested in the rest of your kind of family, like your parents, if you have any siblings, like that sort of thing.
Sure. Sorry if I'm boring you guys already, but I just love this character.
You're totally good. Don't worry.
I guess like here's what it like before the game starts, before he meets you guys, here's what his day normally looks like. Like at the crack of dawn, he's alone in his like really well furnished room, and he's woken up by the butler, and the butler says like, okay, it's time to get you dressed and stuff like that. He's like, okay, fine. He's feeling sore from the day before, but he goes for it. And then he's taken to Chihaya, who is his bodyguard slash nursemaid slash the only parent figure he's ever had, slash like the person who tells him how to do everything, slash his sensei. Like she taught him everything he knows about the world. It's basically like, you know, Mother Gothel or whoever, where like she's his main point of interaction for how the world works. And at the beginning of each day, he's brought to Lady Setsune, the scion of the clan, and he has never seen her, not even once. She sees him through like I imagine kind of like that Lord Ozai sort of throne room where like everything is low lit and stuff like that, and she is sitting like behind a curtain, like almost as if she's like too holy to be seen. And basically before he starts his day, before he's allowed to eat, before he's allowed to do anything, he has to recite all these different Fire Nation stances, all these different fire-bending forms, and then he is tested, sometimes like, you know, martially, sometimes based on his knowledge, and whether or not he does well or poorly determines on how good the rest of his day is. And he most of the time does poorly, because most of the time it's like, can you firebend? Still no? Then life sucks for you. Like, go and like train for like, you know, 3 more hours. Here's your 1 scroll for the week, the only thing you can read, and yeah, just be by yourself. Good luck. And around the time like of sunrise and sunset, that's when he's always doing his form training. Usually his fighting style is essentially firebending without firebending, because he was trained all the different firebending stance. His fighting style is based on the Southern Dragon style, which is like, in real life, it's this kind of shifting, deceptively brutal kind of fighting style, where like they always have 2 moves. Like when you're blocking, you're always hitting. When you're hitting, you're always blocking. And another interesting part of its history is all of its practice is full contact. And Chihaya is very good, and Sen is not as good. So most of the time it would end with him kind of singed, kind of beat up, kind of feeling like a failure. So yeah, Chihaya is just a very difficult taskmaster, and he can never seem to be able to get around her or lie to her, and she just wants him to be the strongest he possibly can be. She's never been nurturing, even once, which he desperately wished she was.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where they're at.
Okay. So does Sen not know who his biological family is? Is it just a thing of like...
Gosh, like maybe he's asked that once or twice, but he's never been told. It's not been a factor. He's been told it's not a factor, so he assumes it's one of like the branch family members, someone from the clan itself. Whoever it is, he hasn't met them.
Excellent. Okay. And how has the kind of like spirit wilds and everything going on affected your family? Kind of the nature of the world basically changing these past 30 to 40 years.
I would say that like Setsune was on its like downturn when everything was at peace. And since they're very much like back when Avatar 1 still had the spirit wilds, they were the spirit killers. Like they were the people that would go out during sunset and like murder spirits. So I assume that Setsune started carving out their own niche, like maybe rebuilding like one of their old cities, like trying to get all the different people that would support them into one place, and they're kind of consolidating their power. They're kind of, I don't know, getting ready for something. Maybe, you know, feeling cute. Might murder the Fire Lord. Who knows?
Okay, I like that. That's interesting. Potential antagonists, love it.
I didn't say that.
I'm saying that. Next up, why don't we hit up Rose? Rose, why don't you tell us about your wonderful character?
So I'm playing Kia, who kind of is very involved with Cabbage Corp and Cabbage in general. They're the leader of the Cabbage Gang, which, despite their name, they're actually egalitarian freedom fighters, and they're basically out to break the kind of elites of society and try to kind of spread their wealth around to people who are less privileged. And they most of their history of what had happened before to them is unknown. All they remember is a specific point, and this is basically their earliest memory, is they were able to get close to something that was important to Cabbage Corp. They don't remember how they got there. They don't remember what it is. But what they remember is somebody calling their name, them turning around, and then it's darkness. When they had woken up, they were awoken by, let me remember the name, Gao Lin, who basically kind of started taking care of them. They had never met Gao Lin before. They don't know who she is, but she basically took them in and she helped them. She was like, okay, I'm going to get you back on your feet. And after they managed to kind of put themselves together and remember what little they could remember. I mean, my character literally, like, how old are they? They don't exactly remember. They know they're in the early 20s, just kind of from memories. They don't exactly remember how old they are. They don't know their family. They don't know what happened to them. But according to Gao Lin, is that despite them knowing that they were knocked unconscious somewhere very important to the Cabbage Corp, they were found, which is normally not how the Cabbage Corp operates, because they're just imprisoned. They don't want you to release anything. And that has always been something that gnawed at Kia's mind of why they weren't imprisoned like most people who defy Cabbage Corp or dare defy Cabbage Corp. Ever since then, Gao Lin has kind of helped Kia in organizing the Cabbage Gang and kind of making sure that the very few members know what they're doing. My character is kind of this very loud but yet determined person who they don't keep to themselves. They're kind of very, who like just bursting on the scene. They fully believe in the idea that, Cabbage Corp is overdue, and they actually seek to overthrow it and take control of the floating city and help people come up from the difficulties that they had faced, because they very much, they have been on both sides. They've been in the floating city, and they've been on the ground, and they've seen how difficult life had become for people on the ground. And they probably, future tech is probably not making air flights very affordable, so they saw people who were cut off from their family, cut off from their home, and they're just like, they're done with it, and they've gone fully kind of against it. And this is represented by me picking up the Hammer playbook, which is more kind of aggressive, angry kind of person, which reflects Kia's personality.
Yeah, freaking love it. So Gao Lin, has she ever told you, how she found you, why she was there, what her interests in kind of going against Cabbage Corp are? Or has she been a pretty significant mystery as far as her background is concerned? And it's just I'm here to support you, but don't ask me about my past.
So she has been very forthcoming with information. It's just information that Kia has a lot of reasons to believe are not really true. For example, when they first met Gao Lin, they told them that they were found on the side of the street near kind of a tavern. And they then went back to kind of try to ask for information. People were like, who are you? We haven't seen you around here. And it was very odd to them, because they normally don't if they were there and people were like, oh, we found this person on the side, somebody would have seen them, but nobody saw them. And that was kind of off. And then when they asked, she changed the location, and they were already they didn't fully know. Gao Lin also has access to a lot of information. She is the quartermaster of the Cabbage Gang, and she ends up being able to gather information and know things that even Kia's this is a bit off that you're just able to know these things or gain access to these things. So they have reason to believe that Gaolin was kind of portraying herself as, oh no, I'm just an egalitarian, as well as most likely not who they're saying they are, but they don't know who that person is. And they're just so thankful for being able to, like, them helping them so far that they were just like not gonna push for answers.
I love it so much. Are they a bender at all? Do you know?
No, so they don't know if they ever used to have bending. So bending is very much about stances and remembering like your breathing and your movement and kind of knowing everything. And they lost all their memory. So even if they had any bending ability that was within them, they don't really know how to unleash it. And for now, they haven't really learned to do so. But they are a very capable warrior, kind of using unarmed combat, which is actually something that Gaolin has kind of helped them with. One thing that they did discover is that they have like a very strong head and like physically strong, and they've ever since been using it to basically as a weapon. And it worked out, and this has been basically their main fighting style. They would throw punches, get people kind of looking away from the main danger, and then come with a headbutt, finish the job.
I love that a lot.
Just have a concussion all the time.
Yeah, all the time, 24/7. No wonder you lost your memory.
Yeah, the fighting style gave you the concussion
really?
in the first place. Oh man.
I can relate to that.
You tried headbutting someone with a thicker skull than you.
I'm just imagining like episode 15 where like you do this really big headbutt, like, and it was so big that you get your memory back. It's like,
Wait, hold up. So they're a concussion bender, not a combustion bender.
Oh my god.
hey. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. All right, that's it.
Okay. Love it. Awesome. Is Gaolin a bender?
Gaolin is very much a bender. Gaolin is actually an airbender, which is normally strange because a lot of airbender live in a more kind of ascetic lifestyle where they aren't really merging with the wealthy, and that's kind of what, at least what Kia had met out of most airbenders, but not Gaolin. Gaolin is very much a very kind of take charge airbender who seems to be much more capable than they let on to be.
Okay. Freaking love it. Awesome. How long has it been since you, like in conscious memory, since you've been around?
I would say it's been about 2-3 years.
Okay.
During the first year, Kia had been in and out of consciousness a lot, kind of while they were still recovering. So they think it's been about 2-3 years when they were like around and kind of knowing what was going on. The first year they might not have moved a lot, but they were still kind of, Gaolin was telling them what was going on in the world and such.
Okay. Love it. How many members are currently in the Cabbage Gang?
So basically there is Kia, who is the leader of the Cabbage Gang, but ultimately everything that actually goes day to day goes through Gaolin, who's the quartermaster of the Cabbage Gang. So it's kind of a pirate system where the leader is more elected.
Is it just them two? I just
no,
okay.
It's not just them two. There are 3 other people.
Okay.
Are also part of the Cabbage Gang, 2 of which my character has met before, and 1 which is unknown to my character. They don't know much about them. They just know they're there because Gaolin keeps giving they keep mentioning their name and giving them commands, but they have never met them. Like Kia had never met them, and there are 2 who Kia knows, who basically were people they met throughout their time, and they were like, hey, this system is bad. Let's try to overthrow it. And they're like, yep, let's go. We're overthrowing this. We're with you. And out of all the Cabbage Gang, only Gaolin and Kia, and potentially the 3rd person who's unknown, are in the floating city. The other two actually are on the ground. They don't go to the floating city, but they do kind of jobs on the ground, mostly recruitment, scouting, things like that.
Okay. Freaking love it. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about your character before I move over to Matihi?
Not really. I'm really just excited to explore more about my character in the game.
Heck
So,
yeah.
Not much else to say.
I'm really excited. Okay, Matihi, why don't you tell us about your character?
Sure. So I am playing Kondo, aka Khan, because when I was originally choosing the name, I didn't realize that it sounded like condo. And
Khan!
Khan! So Khan for short. They are a trans mask non-binary person, using he, they pronouns. I prefer they, of course. But also it's just like, he's cool. They are an airbender. They're from the, well, they've traveled a lot in their life and whatnot, and they mostly come from the southern, air temple. I gotta scroll through because I got some notes. They're a descendant of both Kai and Janora, so they're like, great grandparents sort of thing. But as air nomads, are kind of raised in more of a community, like parental heritage doesn't matter as much, but there's still a lot that they'll need to live up to. So my character is doing the I'm doing the icon playbook. So that's all about, living up to traditions and making sure to maintain them, that sort of thing. So what their kind of tradition is going around, especially now that the spirits are a lot more calm, and they are going through the spirit wilds on a pretty regular basis. They are charting maps for people, making sure that they're always going to be like little narrow places where people can actually walk to travel from town to town, and get to places safely, because not everyone can afford to go in one of the zeppelins up in the sky, of course. So they're there for the little guy, little people. So they go around making maps that constantly are changing, because the spirit wilds are always transforming and evolving and whatnot. They also, in case anybody does get trapped and goes off course into more of the spirit wilds, they're there to kind of broker peace, as they're keeping the tradition of keeping spirits safe from people, and making sure to try and bridge that gap between the two, and still maintain the balance and harmony now that things are more or less restored. They have a lot to live up to, based on their lineage, and based on the fact that air nomads, they're still a constantly building thing, even though it's been a number of years. They're still nowhere near as big as any of the other nations or anything like that. But because they are a descendant of Janora and Kai, one of the things they want to live up to is either being able to basically project their spirit, like Janora used to be able to, and be able to kind of communicate with people or communicate with spirits easier by doing that and being able to see them. But unfortunately, they're kind of trapped in what they feel is a mediocrity. And they feel like they have a lot to live up to because of the fact of their lineage, because of who was their great grandfather and who they come from. There's a lot of pressure on them to live up to it. Though they do want to be and live up to the expectations that the air nomads do put on them, or even if it's not an overt thing, they feel still pressured to do it, whether it's said or not, which mostly not. They don't exactly want to go around, make maps, and keep people safe. Their real dream is to what they want to do is they want to practice the art of rakugo, which is it's kind of about being a comedian, but it's also about telling moral and historical stories while kind of sitting and performing. They want to be, instead of just guiding people around, distributing maps, they want to bring joy to people in another way, and to be able to tell stories and of history and tradition and stuff like that, but in a very humorous way. So they are trying to break tradition a little bit and trying to get out of their rut that they have, but also they feel very tied down to what they do because they are an air nomad because of where they come from. They on their lower half, they kind of have a very stereotypical airbender garb. They've got like the loose pants and everything, the wrap shoes, but on top they have this really cute crop jacket with very long sleeves, a big high ponytail, long brown hair. They've actually chosen not to get their tattoos. They are 19 years old, but they've chosen not to get their airbender master tattoos yet because they do not feel like they deserve it. They feel like they still have a lot more progression, a lot more to do in life before they can get that. They do have a best friend who has gotten their tattoos. Their name is Nin. They're kind of a cousin also. They have the kind of personalities very much like Boomy, like Aang used to be, very like boisterous, but they can keep it grounded. They can keep on with tradition. But the two of them used to hang out all the time, but now Khan is kind of on the road, or I should say on the air bison, or on the flying bison all the time. They do have a flying bison. Their name is Otto. They have a broken horn. They've had it kind of since birth. Poachers tried to get him, but my character chased him off, and then they became best friends. Otto is a little bit temperamental about anyone else trying to ride them, except of course because Khan has made the contact with them and built the relationship. They're fine, but anybody else is not the best. There's a slight chance you might get thrown off. 50-50.
50-50. That's fine.
50-50. But I think that's about it that I want to talk about for them. Yeah.
Okay. This is an idea that I want to express publicly so that I don't forget. But I imagine flying bison were very much kind of in danger during this time of spirits going crazy, because it's a means of travel in which you don't have to pay these large companies, and there probably was a big kind of industry of people trying to get their hands on air bison babies and raise them so that they could use them themselves and travel freely. But yeah, no. Okay, love it. Good idea, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so for one, I'm gonna have to finish that anime about Rakugo for research purposes.
Bakugan?
No.
Bakugo. There's a really good anime that's specifically about it as well. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yep.
My Hero Academia? Bakuga?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Anime. I know it.
So you have your best friend. Is she still at the Southern Air Temple?
They are, yeah, she is indeed. She's chilling there. Kind of, I would say that right now, because they are a master, they're currently training younger airbenders, in order to kind of learn new tricks and stuff like that. And also teach them about, you know, the, what is it? Racing on little air balls and stuff like that. There is now an airball league, that has been made, that,
is it
of
Quidditch?
Yes, it's exactly like Quidditch. There's
Wow.
there's other balls that are made of, there's little those little monkeys, the little lemurs. They roll themselves into a ball and you have
Super
to
monkey
throw
ball?
them. Yeah, you have to super monkey air ball is what it's called.
Oh.
Yeah. Please write this down, Emma.
This is lore.
I'm not
Lore!
writing anything down, because what I'll do is I'll rewatch this video and take notes from it later. But right now I'm just
okay,
focused.
in that case, future Emma, please stop
Super
the video and
lemur
drink some
air
water.
ball.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Future me thanks you. Okay, so other questions.
Yes.
You have Otto. Do you perhaps have any other pets or companions?
There, so I was thinking about it.
There's a
There
playbook for
is,
that.
There is indeed. So there is a oh god, I have to look it up. It is a spirit specifically. So I have to look at. It's like a bee. It's like a bee something, and I have to look it up because I don't remember what it's called.
A Minecraft bee?
Yeah, it's a Minecraft bee. Oh, it's a moth wasp. That's it. It's really cute. It's really small. And its name is Cherry.
Cherry the hawk moth.
Moth wasp.
Oh yeah.
It's a little spirit baby.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah, it's super cute. it's real small. It's one of my best friends besides Otto and Nin.
Okay, cool. Love it. While traveling, would you consider your character a people person, or are they a bit of a loner?
So they are very much a people person, and what they do is, in order to conform and fit in with whoever they're talking to, they mask very well, and they've learned through various social cues and stuff, mostly by studying other people's social cues, on how to kind of conform to whatever people that they're interacting with. It doesn't always go 100%. Sometimes they miss the mark and they're completely off, but they are definitely very chatty. They do, at least in practice, like to help people, or at least try to cheer them up. They're also very good at swapping to different costumes. They're very quick about it. It's literally, they take their parasol that they have that has chimes all over it, they like wave it in front of them, different costume, different person.
Love it.
It's just like that, done.
Perfect. All right, awesome. I think that's all my questions. Is there anything else you would like to say about your character before we move on?
Yes, because I did mention the parasol. So they have this like umbrella parasol thing that has chimes all the way around it that tinkle and ding as they fly, and they actually use that. They airbend with that in order to travel around. So they're very noisy where they go, but they're very majestic.
I can't believe your pets' names weren't Tinkle and Ding.
No, Otto and Cherry, and now
Okay.
we've got this little tinkly umbrella. So yeah, they don't have like the flying suit or anything like that, because if their life is in danger one time and they are falling, they think that maybe they can get in touch with the same like deep, meaningful study that Zahir accomplished and be able to fly on their own. So they're like, just in case,
They have
not gonna go with the safety net.
They have the Mary Poppins umbrella.
They
Unless
do.
someone,
Yeah.
They do.
Unless somebody takes it and pushes you off.
Yep, kicks me off somewhere. I do have like air cushions, so it's fine, but still.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, moving on. Next up, we're going to be talking about episode 1. What happened to get you all together? What was like a challenge that you overcame, that sort of stuff. For this, we're going to be using a method in the Avatar Legends Quick Start called Outline the Inciting Incident. In it, it has 3 acts. Each act has various kind of they're kind of questions, kind of what's that game? Mad Libs. It's kind of like a Mad Lib situation. And we're gonna kind of go through each of the acts of like the episode and talk about what happened, how you all met, and why you're traveling together now, so that I, as a GM, don't have to do that in the first session. It can already be done.
Yeah, that's pretty involved for a quick start.
Yeah, absolutely. I am appreciative of it. First of all, before anything, I think talking about where you all meet is going to be an important bit of information, because we have one person from the Fire Nation, one person from the Earth Nation, and 2 others that, I mean, honestly, you 2 can like shift around wherever. So where do we imagine that all of you like happen to meet?
Like on the map? Like do we have
Good
a map of the
question.
world, or
Map of the world, please.
I can get a map of the world. Give me just a
I'd
sec.
appreciate that.
Let's talk about Kingdom first, though.
Mm.
Kingdom?
Well,
Yeah,
has-
like, did you meet in the Earth Kingdom, the Fire Nation, one of the Water Tribes? Like, what's going on?
Are you asking like how we met each individual person, or how we came together?
This
Like,
is
did we all meet at the same time? Like at the same moment?
unless you want to have a significant connection with somebody else, that kind of takes place before you met the rest of the group, which you totally can. And we can talk about that now, but just by default, I am talking about where you all met together, like as a group for the first time.
Okay, well,
Mm.
I'm thinking like where it seems to be poppin', where all this stuff seems to make most sense to take place would be kind of in the Earth Kingdom to me. That's where it feels like all the Spirit Forest is. We've already talked about the Spirit Forest a lot. My character is currently running away from home, which would have been in the Fire Nation, which is, an issue.
Well, that's an easy way for our characters to have a meetup too. My character was in the area doing, general like scanning, making new, like seeing that things have changed, seeing that like I need to make new pathways and stuff and hand them out. And maybe Sen got off the beaten path,
It
got
happens
into
very easily. He knows
Yeah.
very little about the outside world.
got lost, was like, help, somebody help. And I'm just like, I swooped down my bison, was just like, haha, saved.
That's your bison. Ha ha.
Ha ha ha. Instead of yip yip, I say haha.
Okay, well, yeah, then in that case, yeah, Sen would definitely be very appreciative of that and would
Mhm.
want to learn your free ways.
Yep.
Already idolizes you.
And I would teach you all about the air nomad ways and how things, are normally supposed to function, and what my
Like
character does
being
from day
chill.
to day. Being very chill, not instigating fights, only like interfering with things if people are in dire straits and they ask you, or it's very obvious that they need assistance. But the main thing is like not starting fights on your own. That's like a big no. They don't start fights.
I guess I don't know if this is establishing too much, you guys, but like I guess you would learn pretty quick, or your character would learn pretty quick, that Sen is looking for the most powerful firebender. He ran away from home to essentially find someone to replace him for his destiny. And I guess, or like just the most powerful bender in general. And I don't know, like I had this little idea of the world knows very little about the Avatar. So maybe similar to like the 30s or 40s kind of radio era, they have a little show like the Unayo show. And like everything he knows about the Avatars from this like little orphan Annie sort of like getting into hijinks and shenanigans and always winning, like Saturday morning cartoon version of what people vaguely think Unayo might stand for. Just like that blind optimism of the Avatar's back, baby. Like there's nothing she can't do. Like, that kind of magical girl-esque kind of feeling. And he's like, I gotta find her. Or like maybe the radio station would know. I don't know what Sen would be thinking, but he's trying to get to that direction somehow. Someone
Because my character travels around all the time, it would be a good assistance. Like, since we're traveling, like we can keep eyes out, sort of thing.
Is there some sort of deal that we need to make? Like, do I owe you money?
No, you've probably been kicked off Otto like at least 5 or 6 times, and I had to like fall down, like descend and save you and scoop you back up, and then Otto came back.
Otto doesn't like me.
But no, my character doesn't do things for like money or anything like that, or accolades. They do things to make other people happy.
Why?
Because it makes them happy. seeing other
says Zen
people.
again.
Yeah, it's just like seeing other people smile. It's, it makes your heart feel good, and it makes you feel like you're making at least some sort of minor change in the world by even making just their day or their hour. It's some positive reflection of the world that you add to it. You don't detract.
Wow. I wish I could do that.
You can. And then we go on adventures.
Okay. So we got two of our characters together so far.
That's
Yeah.
We got
cute.
two people in crime. Got two people in the crime world. Maybe
We
they
got the
know each other.
vigilantes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the Earth Kingdom,
Yeah.
Do you two know each other, Rose and Effie? Do you imagine?
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess perhaps if the Cabbage Gang had to traverse the wilds, anybody who had to traverse the wilds at some point in his area.
what if they had a bounty on them? Like, what if the Cabbage Gang legitimately, like, they're an outlaw gang? What if you had to collect on their bounty, and that's how you met?
Well, they're not bound. He's not a bounty hunter. He's a vigilante.
Oh,
Wait.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Quite the opposite, in fact.
Yep.
is it? I guess one doesn't do it for money. So
But he's basically taking matters into his own hands.
like Batman.
Batman's
His parents
crap.
are dead. Okay. All right, wait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kind of like Batman. Probably. Not. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe there was a misunderstanding. Maybe the Cabbage Gang was seen as like people who are ruining the village, when in reality it was Cabbage Gang doing that.
Would that be
I
a?
was actually,
What were we gonna say, Rose?
I was gonna say from when it comes, when I just mentioned like two of our members do traverse the world collecting information, and I was actually going to say that the reason I would have been in Earth Kingdom was because of some information related to Cabbage, the Cabbage Corp, but I will get into that when it's like my turn to speak. But for that point, it could definitely be like, oh yeah, that's how Effie's character knows the Cabbage Gang, because they're like, hey, we need to know more, like we need to move through the Earth Kingdom like region, and like there's no way we're moving through with the spirits, so can you like hook us up with some pathways?
Yeah. And it's possible, like that. I mean, he wouldn't be very like forward with, oh hey, by the way, I fight crime. I could look into this whole Cabbage Corp thing for you. But he probably, like, as he's helping, he probably eventually, like, maybe overhears the reason why, they're going to find out information about Cabbage Corp. And then that probably would spark his own investigation.
Does Yifong wear a mask, perhaps? Like the blue spirit kind of thing?
Yes. I guess I didn't mention that. So,
Are they
when
a superhero?
They're Batman. We established that.
Batman. So he's called the Beast, and it.
Sorry, I'm a beast.
I
Beast?
immediately think of what we do in the shadows. The Beast.
Beast.
The Beast.
Ominous music. but yeah,
Do you prey on the fears of the weak?
No, no. But his mask is basically it's a, I forget the name of it, but it's essentially like a beast in that is supposed to symbolize like truth and justice or something like that, and it has one horn, and so no.
Unicorn.
I think it might be like classified as an Oni, but like it's a different name and I forget.
Is it a Zaishi? Okay.
But it starts with a Q, but I wasn't going to call him like that. Like just chill. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up again.
A
But
Keelan?
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mask has a single horn, and garb is basically all black to kind of shroud silhouette, kind of make it look a little bulkier, especially like if rocks are used. But the name was coined with his mentor, actually, when he first started doing things. That some of the criminal gangs described this person as like a beast, or ferocious or whatever, and they recognized at the start, like, this is a person, this is just a person that we're up against. But then it's kind of devolved in like people actually believing it's some sort of like spirit or
spirit
some
touched.
sort of beast, or spirit touched, like, so like it got all sorts of different sort of variations on a theme. But so like some people do think it's just a person, some people do think, oh well, maybe it's more. So
It's a symbol.
yeah,
A dark night.
and and kind of the whole aspect is keeping the two separate. The beast is one thing, Yifeng is another. His mentor no longer takes on the mantle of the beast, and so now that's Yifeng's whole thing.
Oh, you're Nightwing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or Terry McGinnis from Batman Beyond. This is working, guys. I can wrap my head around it. It's not anime.
So basically, sort of like I was thinking more like the Dread Pirate Roberts, where it's like the name is there, but the person, like whoever it takes on the mantle of the beast, that's they're the beast, but it's not.
I
just
like it.
Is
Yeah.
he Inigo Montoya? I hope he's Inigo Montoya.
So basically, I think that he would probably take interest in Cabbage Corp too.
Okay, so you think potentially Rose, the Cabbage Gang, reached out to Effie's character. Maybe once you got information about something going down in this region of the Earth Kingdom, and you know that your group was aware of this person in that area before, and maybe you sought them out for help as you were dealing with this Cabbage Corp situation.
Yeah.
Are they smuggling illicit cabbage? Like, I'm trying to think of like all the cabbage
Illegal
related crimes.
cabbage.
They've moved far past cabbage now, Josh. It's not the
They're
only
into
thing they deal in.
Zeppelins.
So
Yeah, what is
they're probably
Cabbage
called
Corp?
CC. They're called like CC now. Is that it? Like they're
No,
too
it's
cool
still
for
Cabbage Corp.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're proud of their heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rose,
tell us about Cabbage Corp, like exactly what they're doing.
What do you think Cabbage Corp is?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about like Cabbage Corp in general, because there's the ideas of the stuff that my character doesn't know, but I imagine is true for Cabbage Corp, and it's like why they're named Cabbage, and I could get into that, or would you like to know like what my character knows
What
about
does
Cabbage
your
Corp?
character think Cabbage Corp is? That's what
Hey,
I'd like to know.
I'm the GM here.
Okay.
Rose, what does your character think Cabbage Corp is?
I'm sorry.
So basically, from the point of view of my character, they know that Cabbage Corp is not just like somebody who sat in a meeting room and was like, we're gonna call ourselves Cabbage. They know that there is a reason why they're called Cabbage Corp, and they know that it's a reason that persists until this day. Like they haven't fully abandoned Cabbage, but instead Cabbage has become one of many things that they're dealing with. And my character would know to a certain degree that it's something big that revolves around this normally unassuming vegetable, such as just your basic cabbage. And they like part of the whole thing is that in the floating city they have things like their hydroponics areas, which seem to be growing vegetables for the people, and then parts that are restricted, and they kind of just from the knowledge of my character, that they would assume that these restricted areas are most likely used to grow cabbage for Cabbage Corp for whatever reason they use them. But the floating city, I imagine it as a super urbanized area, And because they're kind of like very urbanized, there isn't a lot of space for things like hydroponics. And as such, a lot of Cabbage Corp's underground operations actually happen in the Earth Kingdom, where they kind of used to exist prior to the events of this as kind of more of a cabbage merchants who really were just interested in vegetables. But that was about it. It wasn't until, of course, everything happened that Cabbage Corp took over a much larger mantle and became much greater than they usually were. So basically, my character would have gone to the Earth Kingdom following these kind of rumors and whispers of, okay, there's definitely operations related to Cabbage Corp down here. There's probably ones on every place around, but this is like they're basically looking for the places that would really be important. I'm not sure. I think that this is something that Emma could have more input in so that it's easier to set our characters up. But basically, they're looking for areas that they know Cabbage Corp are operating in away from the floating city, and they're trying to kind of catch them in the act. And I would say that the way they met the group is, so I already mentioned how they went down, and for Yifeng, they were like, hey, Cabbage Corp is very shady, they're very bad people, they're super elitist. And Yifeng was like, all right, I'm in, let's take these people down. And I would imagine that eventually, given Kando's reputation as somebody who can get you places and somebody who you can rely on, they would have most likely went to Kondo, where they also met Sen as somebody who's traveling alongside Kondo. And
I'm imagining your character explaining this like the Always Sunny meme, like because I'm already imagining Sen going like, I don't know, Kia, like corporations are our friends. I don't understand.
We're a family forged in bureaucracy. But yeah, I would imagine that they had probably been in contact with Kondo, but given that the entire Cabbage Gang is really an upstart group, and while Kia seemingly from what they know, for kind of from bits and bobs, may have had a lot of wealth or a lot of resources at one point from just few things that were slipped by the kind of characters around their life, or perhaps people they've met before. Right now they don't have access to any of that. So they basically were like, hey, I can't pay you, I can't hope to pay you, I don't have a lot of money, but maybe if I travel along with you, since I need to travel around anyway, it's not like Kia knows exactly where these locations are. They're like, hey, I'm just gonna tag along, we're gonna look for the places for the Cabbage Corp, and I'm just gonna, my payment is that if anybody messes with your bison, I have a head, I have two hands, and I can use both of them.
Yeah, I don't know. My character might not would be fine with flying around for sure, but their goals don't fully align with the terms of attack Cabbage Corp, because unless Cabbage Corp specifically starts a fight with them, they can't go out and attack them. That's very much they stick to that.
I'm already imagining the New Hope kind of scene where your Kia, Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan come in, and you see Maddie's character sitting Han Solo,
I think I'm Yoda.
Yeah.
Well, my guess is that in the journey to wherever we're going, something will cause us to not be able to complete our journeys, such as taking down Cabbage Corp at the start. So
could be potentially
while our paths can collide, it doesn't mean that you have to go and find the best firebender or we're not going to travel together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure something can make it to where we run into each other and then just
just chill.
Have to be together.
Mhm.
Like, this is definitely
Forever.
how I imagined us meeting, in the idea that it's not like I'm not particularly gonna be like, oh, I'm looking for Cabbage Corp, I'm not gonna do anything, but it's basically as this is where our paths collide. Now things are going to happen, and as far as when it comes to fighting Cabbage Corp, I'm not even sure if like you would be forced to fight or something like that. Like, I think this could be very much
It'd be an
something that,
investigative
like,
thing.
Mhm.
yeah,
May-
it would
maybe
be
if-
more of an investigative thing.
Like maybe if XX lead is near the radio station that I'm trying to get to meet Avatar Unayo, because she definitely is the person on the radio show. Like maybe we could just all go
Yes.
together.
My character's definitely down to meet the Avatar. That's 100%.
I
It's
imagine I imagine that I think kind of this Cabbage Corp angle of Rose, you getting to the Earth Kingdom, meeting up with Effie's character, to kind of be shown around a little bit, and start doing some investigation, and then Matt and Josh, while you two are traveling, you get into the same area as well. I think this is a really good kind of plot thread that brings you together, but then perhaps that's interrupted by something else. And we can get into that now as we talk about episode 1.
Wait, we have to crowdsource that too?
Crowdsourcing all the episodes.
Shoot.
No, right now we've just been talking about what brought you guys into the same area. Now we talk about the episode 1.
Oh boy.
Okay,
You might have to help us here on this one, Emma.
never.
How dare.
So
Didn't
we're doing
expect
all
me
the
to say
work.
that. No, I have an outline. So, okay, I'm gonna read this section and then I'll go into the questions. The inciting incident is the plot of your series' pilot episode, the story of how the characters met one another and committed themselves to your group focus. Choose something interesting but open-ended, since you'll need to know your characters before you can fill in the details. Start by picking a place within your scope where this incident happened. Then, as a group, choose 3 of the following, 1 for each act of your opening story. I am going to make this a handout in Roll20 so that you guys can read along.
Just beautiful
You're not
piano
muted.
music.
Mm.
Truly.
Boom, 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 boom.
It does make me a little sleepy, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
yawning.
I'm like,
Resident sleeper in chat, am I right? Am I right, folks?
no Resident Evil, just Resident Sleeper. Sleeper
Oh, yeah.
agents, all of us.
Okay, so
Alright. Where's the hand up? I see no hand up.
it should be there now.
There. Yay, thank you.
Hey.
So you're gonna choose 3 things from each act.
No.
And we're just gonna work together to figure it out. Audience, I can kind of pull it up and put it in the overlay.
That would be cool.
Image.
Okay, idea. So one of the things that is there is we did something fun but drew the ire of XYZ.
Yeah.
Maybe we can like change it like a smidge, but like especially since you're from the wilderness, your character's from the wilderness, and for example, maybe like as we were like chilling above, like flying around, we like saw hints of people who were in the spirit wilds, and I was like, oh no, we have to rescue those people. Go down, turns out you don't need rescuing, you're like kind of just vibing in there. And at some point, maybe like I've shown y'all maps and stuff. It's like, oh, these are the maps that I've made, like in order for people to get around to avoid like the zeppelins and everything. And maybe, for example, someone in Cabbage Court found out about these. And the thing is, because of these paths that people are able to take, it's drawing profit away from these zeppelins and the transportation. So that's a bad thing.
Ooh, So you thinking
Yeah.
like Future Industries is getting mad at you?
Maybe Future Industries is really mad because we're like taking from the profits and whatnot, and it's just like, ooh, you can't be doing that. You can't be guiding people through these wilds. And it's like, but they need it. They need help. I don't know. We could have been like boasting.
Do they care about like the people on the ground?
Yes, because
It's
it's lost profit.
Lost
like
profit.
This
So-
is turning
They-
into very Amazon, I would say.
Just a reminder,
The free
Cabbage Corp.
Jesus.
Just a
Yeah.
reminder, Cabbage Corp and Future Industries, two different groups.
Gotcha.
Future Industries are the ones that kind of have made commercial air travel, which is expensive, but not as expensive as living up in the flying city. So generally, when people have needed to travel from place to place, that has been the safe way to do so.
So Future Industries isn't the bad one, right? Like Asami's legacy isn't.
Now it's
garbage.
bad.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
if we go with
Must
this
it
twist,
be?
then maybe.
That free Jesus
so we
got in.
can basically say like their angle on a political stance would be more like, oh well, you're putting people in needless danger. They could pay to fly over the wilds and not have to risk their lives.
Could be. Maybe people are still very much afraid of the wilds and haven't really come to understand that the spirits have calmed down.
What if
And
not
that
all of them
it's-
have?
Oh, definitely they haven't, but still it's manageable. To like pass through the spirit wilds now, whereas before it was near impossible.
I think if we are going to do a corporation thing, I think that just saying like we're eating to a corporation's profits isn't good enough. We do need a face for that. We need one specific person if this is going to be like truly Avatar.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you? Oh, like
yeah,
needs to be
someone
a
who's a
figurehead.
member. Yeah, like
General
maybe the-
Zhao.
Yeah,
The
like
treasurer.
yeah, probably not like the big bad boss, but at least like somebody in the area,
It's
like some jerk, like
The
Maybe if-
CEO is
Well,
the
that-
big bad guy.
We can talk about the group focus really quick, because the group focus is basically like kind of the mission of season 1, right? And we're supposed to choose a group focus together, and I had originally thought kind of talking about episode 1 will lead us to kind of figuring out a group focus for the first season, but I think it'll be helpful to at least give you kind of the idea of like what the group focuses options are. So the group focuses are, it's to defeat a villain, which kind of, Josh, is what like you're talking about a bit. It can be to protect a place, idea, a culture, a person, or a thing. It can be to change culture, society, or like a place or a person. It can be to deliver or a person or like maybe an object to another place. It can be to rescue a person or a thing, or it can be to learn about an idea, culture, a certain like training or like a history. Like these are the sorts of things, and I'll make a handout of this too, just so that you don't have to remember what I just said. But those are the sorts of things that you want to like think about when you're considering like what you want the group focus to be.
I mean, I'm a pretty simple person. I like defeating a guy or saving a person,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up to you guys.
maybe because you want to find the Avatar.
I do.
We know Cabbage Corp is probably evil and whatnot. What if we hear a rumor or something going on that Cabbage Corp wants to try and capture the Avatar who's like traveling around and use them for their own ends? So we need to go and find the Avatar.
I
to
don't
try and
love
help
the
protect
idea
them.
of
I don't
Cabbage Corp
know.
being the only bad guy in this world, you know?
It was just an idea.
It's something to go off of.
So here's
True.
a thought. This is mentioned or kind of hinted at within the world info. the people who killed the last avatar could very likely still be alive. And learning that an avatar has kind of returned can lead to certain actions taking place. Perhaps you stumbled upon some information that kind of brought you to, like, okay, something is happening where the new avatar is in danger and we need to find them, or XYZ.
That would be definitely of interest for my character, because obviously they are responsible for the chaos that came after killing the last avatar. So they would want to make sure that that didn't happen again for sure. So I definitely know my character would be on board for going after specifically the Red Lotus.
Yeah.
Could it be that the information that we learn is the potential location of the Avatar? Like, I don't know, Star Wars
It could
Episode
be.
7, I guess. I don't know.
Could
Yeah,
find.
I guess maybe we're trying to. Are we trying to find the Avatar, or are we trying to thwart the plans? Like,
Well,
do we come across plans?
I haven't. Maybe I don't know. For example, if there's like a Red Lotus hideout, maybe like all of us kind of met up in the wilderness. Maybe one of us kind of wandered off and like fell down a hole, like a secret hole, and we're like, oh no, we gotta find them. We go down to the hole. It turns out that like they fell into like a secret base for the Red Lotus, and we go into a spot where it's like perfectly hidden, so we overhear information going on that they're like trying to locate like where the Avatar is, and the Red Lotus is like gearing up to do things, and we're like, oh no, we need to do something. We need to find the Avatar. We need to help them.
Yeah, maybe we learned something, like they're having some sort of conversation about something that the Avatar's been. Emma, are you muted?
He's not listening to us. It's okay.
So
Gotcha.
Sorry, we'll talk amongst ourselves.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
We've been streaming for about an hour and a half now. Let us take a quick break. Everybody kind of collect their thoughts. Don't keep discussing kind of while we're in a break, but everybody collect your thoughts, and get some water, use the bathroom. We'll take a quick 5-minute and we'll be right back. So stick around. Thank you so much for kind of hanging out so far, and we look forward to coming back and talking. All right. Hello, everyone. We are back. Thank you so much for waiting patiently, like the nice people you are. But yeah, so to kind of continue our conversation, we were talking about like the pilot episode of our series and what happened and what kind of like goal is driving our group. We got some things of like, we don't want it to be kind of Cabbage Corp focused the entire time. I think that's like a really fun like side plot that we can play with like every once in a while. But then we started talking about kind of this new avatar and perhaps doing something connected with them. So let us continue that conversation. And obviously I got a call from my roommate. Technically I got like 4 calls from them back to back to back to back, which is why I picked up. But yeah, let's see.
Were they locked out?
No, they weren't. They needed
Okay.
they needed something. They needed me to
Gotcha.
get something for them, but
Need a hug.
they didn't need a hug.
Don't we all?
They were
Toilet
not
paper.
they were
They
not
were trapped.
physically here.
Oh.
So yeah, let's keep talking. What are you guys thinking?
Well, I definitely like the idea of us being interested in the Red Lotus and not them just being like a background thing, that because I think the Red Lotus in general has a lot of potential for conflict and drama.
I wanted to figure out, was it common knowledge that the Red Lotus did all this? Like, are the Red Lotus just a known factor? Everyone like, oh, everyone knows the Red Lotus. They killed the Avatar.
Not to that extent. I think if any of you are like even slightly history nerds or familiar with history, you would be like aware. Which I imagine, because air nomads are very big on kind of like oral tradition and storytelling, I'd imagine at the very least Matt's character would definitely know about it.
I was briefly toying with the idea, since based on the information you sent us, spoilers chat, hey, like,
I
it
mean,
was
any
initially thought that it
information I
was-
sent you, if you bring it up here, it's not necessarily spoilers. You're
I
okay.
was toying with the idea of everyone thinking the White Lotus did it, since like the person who was the Red Lotus that killed the Avatar was the head of the White Lotus at the time.
Yeah. That's very possible. I think that could be more of like the common assumption, and maybe the White Lotus has lost a lot of trust and people are they've kind of like gone back into hiding because like their public visage has turned into this thing of like, you guys killed the Avatar. But those who are like a bit more well-rounded historians kind of like know what actually happened, but it's a difficulty of like actually convincing the masses that that is what happened. When they're like, no, like the guy was the leader of the White Lotus, like fuck you, stop trying to rewrite history sort of stuff. But yeah, I like that. I think that's cool.
So anyway, yeah, we stumbled into something that the Red Lotus was doing.
If that's what you guys want to do, yeah. Or it can
Are we all good
be
with that?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to like have our characters meet on more mild circumstances, like,
Cabbage Corp.
oh, you need help. Oh, wait, you don't need help. Okay, well, hi. I'm so and so. I'm so and so. Oh, it's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hey, let's hang out. Oh, you're so cool. Fun. Oh no, where did so and so go?
They fell. It's got to be Sen. It's probably Sen.
It's probably Sen.
What is it, Timmy?
Timmy
Where's
fell down the
Timmy?
well again.
Otto, where's Sen? Where'd Sen go?
What is it, Otto? Sin fell down the well again?
No, not again.
Oh.
I love the again part, like just a common occurrence. You know?
Yeah.
Sen
Just
has
keep
fallen.
staying away from wells. They just
Sen has fallen many a time, I feel,
He's
especially.
not dumb. He's curious. All right.
Well, he's also just got yeeted off of the air, like the flying bison, a lot.
Well, that's the
So-
flying bison's fault.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
anything.
So Kondo can just be like, oh, he does this all the time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it happens. It's constant.
He does get lost. He does get lost.
Mhm.
So, like, where do you think
So-
this hideout is? Like, underground?
Yeah.
Or, like, in a deep,
An
like,
underground facility.
roots of, like, a giant tree? I don't know.
Old ruins that were overgrown.
Oh, to train. Oh God, what are their names? Fuck it, or shooting from Bossing Say.
Dai Li.
Dai Li.
Yes!
It was an old like Dai Li underground like
What?
training facility.
Where was
Yeah.
that? Yeah, where they killed Jet? Where was
Lake
that?
Lao Guy.
It's
Lake
You
You
Lao
guys-
guy.
you guys may not
Yeah.
be at Lake Lao Guy.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a
you
bit
can if you
far.
want, but
What if there was somewhere like
Well,
that?
it's maybe something similar to that,
Mhm.
where maybe like a repurposed underground.
yeah,
What if
it
there were
was-
like too many people know about Lake Lao Guy now. We need a different hideout.
Yeah.
What if it was like a hideout for the White Lotus? Like they used it to train the Avatar before this Avatar, and it's like
and the Red Lotus
overgrown.
took it over because
they
they knew about
painted
it?
it red. There's just
Yeah,
like
they're the only
red.
ones that know about it left. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
underground.
that would work.
Be interesting.
So there's like a
So-
bunch of like White Lotus imagery that's around, but then like
But
the
it's
big
painted.
room, it's just like red.
Yeah.
Real
Um,
dramatic.
So, quick touching base. Do we want the group focus for season 1? And this will not be kind of the focus of all of the sessions. There will be like little side adventures and stuff. But
Episode.
do we want the group focus to largely be for season 1 to rescue Unayo?
Rescue? We get the Avatar needs rescuing?
Well,
I
from
don't know if we
whatever
know.
plan you found.
At least
yeah.
what we
Oh,
think
yeah.
we think they need rescuing. So that's like maybe
Yeah,
what-
from what little we know, like we get out with just barely our lives.
Oh, and
whatever.
so we're trying to prevent it from happening. It hasn't happened yet,
Yeah.
and the Avatar doesn't even know about it. So we're like, we gotta stop him before.
I still really love the idea that we don't know where the Avatar is, and Sen is really
Yeah.
convinced that it's the radio station, the one big radio station in X.
But then we find out it's run by Cabbage Corp. It all ties in. It all comes back.
Well, I do really like the idea of the radio being like similar to that Varric kind of ingenuity of like them just like, we're just making stuff up. Like they made a radio play just recently about how the White Lotus murdered the Avatar in cold blood, and like we're doing the Avatar show today.
It's
Like
really
I like the
bad
idea of like
propaganda.
Sen's. Yeah, Sen has bought the propaganda and is totally into it.
Yeah, I think that's a really fun idea, and I'm definitely using it. So, Rose, you've been a bit quiet. What do you think? I want to
Yeah.
touch base with you.
So I was waiting for everyone to kind of like get their ideas across. But I think I was talking to Emma before the session about how one thing about my character, which kind of in contrast of everyone else, is they're more of an Avatar secularist of sort. It's not that they disbelieve in the Avatar or their powers. They fully believe in the Avatar, their powers, and what they are. They just believe that the Avatar are fallible. And indeed, they have like failed before. They have made mistakes, and because they've made mistakes, from the point of view of my character who's in their 20s, so they've never actually experienced an Avatar, they never lived under the rule of an Avatar or lived in peace or such, all they know is the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And because of that, they kind of view the Avatar as these people who can't like function on their own or are incapable of making the right decision all the time. And as such, they would be approaching, like they would be with the group and they're like trying to find the Avatar, they're trying to make sure they're safe. But the angle and this is kind of what I wanted people to know, the angle that they would be approaching it from would be an angle of, oh, we need to protect the Avatar because we don't want the Avatar to get themselves killed again so that we'd have another apocalypse. Like,
That makes sense.
So they still, like, I think it's going to be through this journey and stuff like that they start learning, okay, the Avatars are actually very capable. But
Mhm.
as it starts, they have this very low view of an Avatar. They're like, oh, they're just going to mess it up. They're just going to get themselves killed and we're going to be in another apocalypse.
It sense the opposite. The Avatar can do no wrong. The Avatar is going to restore your memory. It's just one of like the many like 1920s Superman-esque powers that they've given her. Like she's never lost, not even once. Haven't you listened to the show?
She was a master of all 4 elements when she was 4.
All 12 elements by this point.
Yeah,
like,
there's
she has
there's
all of them.
lava, there's spirit, there's metal, there's
I love
breath.
that dynamic so much.
Yeah.
And that to like explore that possible journey of seeing Rose like grow in either their cynicism or in kind of like slightly believing in the Avatar a little bit. I think that'll be like a really fun journey to see. And I like also that you're kind of going at rescuing the Avatar for a reason other than like, oh, it's the Avatar, we have to help her. I think that's cool.
Yifeng's kind of in the same boat where he wants to make sure history doesn't repeat itself, especially so soon. You know, living through the, all these years, and it's just been like that, and hearing about how it was a lot better before the Avatar's death, he would want to make sure that that is prevented. So he'd be in the same vein as Kia, but maybe not as distrusting of the Avatar and their capabilities.
I love it.
And Khan just wants to make sure the spirits don't go out of whack again, because that was terrible.
Yeah, makes sense.
Son believes the Avatar can fix everything. What's wrong with you people?
Haven't
That's what the Avatar
older.
does.
you listened to the radio?
This is what adults do.
Okay.
I was gonna say I actually really like the dynamic of that when we meet the Avatar. Like Kia is slowly going to probably start trusting them as they see them more capable, and Sen is probably going to start being more realistic about them. Like both of our characters just coming to terms with the fact that avatars are just people with great powers, and sometimes they make mistakes, sometimes they're absolutely amazing.
I'm
And it's
wondering
just
if like
kind
she
of
even
this-
has that much power. That'll be interesting to see.
Burdened with a glorious purpose.
Who knows? Okay,
I'm not telling
so
us.
I'm not gonna tell you right now.
Give
It'd be a spoiler.
Question 2: how much power does the Avatar have? It's on the sheet.
Question 3, can I absorb their power like Highlander?
There can be
So-
only one.
So Act 1,
No.
Act 1, it seems that we're going with you guys discovered or you learned the frightening plans of the Red Lotus, but probably specifically Azusa, who was like the leader of the White Lotus, but secretly the Red Lotus at the time that killed Avatar Runo. So Act 2, how are we thinking there? The options there are you stole a valuable item, you discovered a terrible truth about like the location or a powerful figure, you defended somebody or a place from the powerful figure, or you destroyed a valuable item and drew the ire of its owner.
I feel like we could do, we stole something. Maybe
Okay.
it's something that helps us, or at least what the Red Lotus believes will help track the Avatar. And we took it.
Like an artifact from their base.
Maybe we
base
snagged
They,
Maybe
they
it.
do,
we
don't they
second.
have things that let them know where the or who like the
So
Avatar?
Not
Each-
necessarily.
Each nation had different methods of divining to find
Yeah.
the Avatar. The Earth Kingdom, like the Air Nomads had, you saw in Avatar, they had like a shit ton of toys. And then whatever child picked the 4 toys that like were associated with past avatars was the next avatar. And then the Earth Kingdom literally used kind of like tossing bones in order to divine like different locations and then areas within that location and so on and so forth. And the Water Nation, or the Water Tribes and the Fire Nation, I don't think there's any like actual lore about how their methods, but I can come up with something.
They have the blood of Rava.
They have the blood of Rava.
Wait, Rava doesn't have
Exactly.
blood.
Spirit blood? Iker? I don't know. They
Iker
killed the last
of
Avatar.
Rava.
Like they
What's-
killed the last Avatar. They could have
what's-
gotten something.
what's the ghost? What's the
Ectoplasm?
Rava's
Ectoplasm,
ectoplasm. I can figure something out, but let's say you guys found an item that, if used
The MacGuffin.
properly, the MacGuffin, we can come up with what this MacGuffin is specifically before episode 1. But you found a MacGuffin that the Red Lotus was going to use to find the Avatar. Do you think that when you stumbled upon this place that it was occupied, or did you maybe come across this when everybody was out?
The where the object is
Yeah.
that we steal.
Yeah. Did you guys have to fight a bit for it, or like kind
I
of
feel
grab
like-
it and run away?
I feel like we snuck through, like we were just real stealthy while they were talking about like, oh, we're gonna get the Avatar sort of thing. Like
Oh,
we're
so
like,
this is like
ooh.
in the same base encounter still. Like
Yeah,
Sin
I'm
falls
thinking
in,
like
you
the
guys
entire
follow.
thing is just like, and then we like creep, like we're all in there, and then we're like, oh shoot, something's going on, and then like someone, maybe Rose's character, sees like something on a pedestal, for example, and is like, that, like we need to get
Well,
that.
the issue with that is that this is supposed to take place in Act 2, right?
So
So that's-
Act 2 is still like part of the same episode. It's just like the next story
Oh, okay.
beat of the episode.
Yeah,
so this is
regular
one episode.
28-minute
Yes.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
22
Alright.
minutes.
Yeah, then okay, that works.
It's 28. We're a prestige TV show. Come on.
Okay.
I also think that it makes sense that the place would be filled, because it would really devalue the item if they were just like, oh, we're gonna
Yes.
toss it in there and nobody's
Yeah.
gonna be around to protect it.
Absolutely.
I think
Like-
it would be. Does anybody have sticky fingers, like, or
I
like
can-
a kleptomaniac?
I could
Because I feel like-
impersonate somebody. Like I could have had a costume and did a costume change, but like, hello, fellow Red Lotus, and like, don't
it would
mind
be-
me.
I think it'd be funny if somebody took it just because they thought it looked cool, and it
Ooh, they're just like,
happens to
"Ooh."
be of value. And
Depending
so
on-
then we realize through like, okay, well, why did you steal that? Oh, well, it looks like it's important. And then,
And then we hear
now they're
voices from
after us.
behind. It's just like, "Hey, you, get back here!" And then it's like, "Oh no!"
Whoop.
Yeah. So Rose,
Gotta go.
what were you saying?
I was gonna say, depending on what it actually looks like, it would make a lot of sense if Sin grabs it, thinking, okay, this is something that does with the Avatar, because Sin would kind of be like hearing all these stories, and perhaps
Oh.
this
Like
And
something on the
causes all our
radio.
problems.
Oh, like,
Yeah,
no
like-
way! It's an actual, authentic thingamabobber.
First edition.
Oh my gosh!
First
I
edition
can't believe-
Avatar tracker.
I gotta have one of these. Maybe I can get it signed.
I'll give him like a little credit. If we just heard the Red Lotus talking about stuff and Sen thinks something's about the Avatar, maybe grabbing it would just be something that he thinks is in our best interest.
yeah.
That makes
And it looks
sense.
cool. Like you asked, like why that though? There were so many other things you could have grabbed. Like it looked the coolest. I heard about it on the radio. First edition.
First
That's
edition,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. I think we can do something there. Of
Bonded to him.
maybe
like a scab.
maybe you guys were sneaking through this area trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, and Sen saw this thing and was able to sneak up and grab it, and then as you all were like escaping, you were spotted, or like it was realized that the thing was missing, and then as you're being like chased out or like escaping, like you actually find out kind of what it is,
It
and
helps
then
me firebend.
it just kind of like reinvigorates the urgency of like getting out of there with that, to keep it away from these people, you know?
Is it like now I'm thinking of Senazabu and this whole thing as like the part in Aladdin where they steal the gem and everything collapses.
I'm thinking
Yes.
I'm thinking it's a small vial, and almost like there's a invisible liquid, there is this piece of just light kind of inside of the vial that's glowing this color that reminds Sen of the color often ascribed to an avatar when they go into the avatar state. It's like this pure white light.
What if I touch
Yeah.
But if I eat it,
But
But
if I become the avatar,
you see this and you're like, ooh, and you get it, and then you guys escape. How is that sounding to everybody?
Sounds like we could turn this into like a Inuyasha-esque Shoto, where like we could find all the pieces of the avatar to get it back together into one big avatar.
we build the avatar from the
Build
ground
the avatar
up.
back, yeah. No, I like
well-
it.
Yeah.
And then part of the journey may be finding someone or something to help you learn like how to use this, or how to like use it to find the avatar, because I imagine the Red Lotus didn't tell you like, stop them, they got the thing that if we use it this exact way that it'll lead us to the avatar.
Maybe it's a piece of a puzzle. Like there are several pieces, and like this is just one piece, and that's why they're not using it immediately, because they don't have all the pieces yet.
Yeah.
What if somehow we need to follow like the previous avatar's path? Like if this was a place where the previous avatar was trained, like what if our journey kind of mirrors this other avatar that we don't know anything about up until his death, and we can put the pieces together?
That's interesting. It's a fun idea.
You did have a lot of really good lore
And Cabbage
with
Corp
that.
has a piece.
We're going to make it a thing.
We're making it a thing. I'm adding it. We need it in.
They have a piece of light, and that helps them grow the cabbages at like twice the rate.
Whoa! They're beautiful spirits.
You guys are giving me some good ideas. I like this.
That's why they're called the spirit out, like spirits alcohol, because they're made of spirits.
Spirits, though?
Oh no, what a horrible thing to find. Like they're grinding up the spirits. Like,
They juice them. They juice
It's
them.
Sweeney Todd, but
Oh my god.
or that SpongeBob
Cabbage
episode with the
Corpusino.
jellyfish.
It's Soylent Green.
Oh no, Soylent Green is spirits.
They're
Jesus
spirits.
Okay. Great.
This
I'm a
is rated G.
Spiritarian.
With,
They,
this is
they
kid
milk them.
content.
They milk the spirits. That's
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 weird.
rated G. That's rated G, right? It's fine. Don't
what,
think
what
too
was
far
the
about
rating
it.
for The Last Jedi?
I don't know.
Milking?
Oh no, not the milk.
Yeah, PG-13.
Blue
so
milk or
yeah,
whatever.
so TVPG. That's like Star Wars Rebels. We're fine.
We can
This is
milk some
fine.
spirits.
Oh my gosh.
Spirit milk.
Spirit milk.
The tastiest.
No.
We got it. Okay, that's
It's
my
the
challenge.
quenchiest.
It's the quenchiest.
Okay.
Oh, we gotta have that sold by Cabbage
Yep.
Corp.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
no.
Cactus juice. It's the quenchiest.
They just stole Sokka's fucking. Oh.
All right. So, with that, I think you guys narrowly escape, but also I want to add something. In your escape, something was left behind, or something was taken from one of you. What was it? And it
One of my
can't be
maps.
like,
Just like-
oh, my canteen. We lost my like something like of significance to you.
We left Sin behind.
Goodbye, Sen.
It's been fun being a part of the stream, everyone. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought you had the kid.
No,
Rose,
it's
your
you,
turn.
Sen. No.
Rose, what were you gonna suggest?
I was gonna actually volunteer something of importance from my character. I
Okay.
would say that so part of kind of the thing about living in the floating city is it's again super expensive, and normally they can't get around except by a single kind of token that was given to them by sorry, it's just the name is escaping me right now.
Gowlin.
But it's yes, Gowlin. Sorry, the name just completely flew out of my mind. So basically, a token was given by Gowlin, which is kind of like the equivalent of this. Like, put it on the tap of this person, and this is the only way my character can get back to the floating city because they cannot, not in a million years would they be able to afford to go there and look around. And even when they ultimately live in Gowlin's kind of like living place because they can't afford anywhere else, and Gowlin seemingly just has access to stuff they normally don't. And that token, like in what I was thinking is in the fighting, the group kind of goes to like a maze-like entrance where you have to go around, and my character is like, okay, we're getting stuck, so they start just smashing their head against the wall, breaking pieces off for the group to run away. But as they're doing this, they're kind of like their body is shaking and the token falls out, and they're kind of like, let's get sent out, let's get safe. And only after they have cleared it and they're like, whew, we're out, they're like, oh, I can't get back home.
Yeah.
Like, I just lost this very important token, I can't get back home.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not an earthbender? Like, you just broke down a wall with your head. Like, are you positive?
Spender.
It's a thick head.
Extra.
He's
Okay,
thick.
I like this. I like this a
I
lot.
have to make sure that I don't do earthbending. If you're gonna smash through things with your head, I want to see that.
Okay, cool. So, with all of that said, I think this is some great information. We'll talk a little bit more about the... We'll talk a little bit... I just realized what your Twitch name is.
Oh, yeah!
We'll talk a little bit more about kind of the details, like in Discord, and kind of hash some of that out. But moving on, before we're done today, I'm gonna go around and ask you all questions from your playbooks, kind of about the rest of the party and your interactions with them and stuff like that. So first up, let us do Matt. Matt, your character is condo?
Yep, I am the not house, but the condo. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Live inside me.
Perfect.
Or can do. Huh?
Not can do.
Oh,
It's a can-do attitude.
Aww.
Uh,
Con do or con don't. There is no con try.
So,
Sorry, Effie.
boo.
these aren't on the character sheet. I don't think.
They are.
You guys
I thought they
have
were.
like history questions on the character sheet,
Yeah,
but
if
not
you
like
scroll all the way
connection
down.
questions.
If you scroll all the way down, the connection.
There's
I see
no.
it.
Yeah, there's
I
only
see the
one
history.
question. Yeah, that's history, but that's not group questions.
Yeah. So I would like you all at some point to answer your history questions for me, but we're just gonna do kind of the party connections right now. And these are in the Avatar Legends Quick Start, but Matt, someone seems to not fully understand what it means that you're the icon of your tradition. And
You're iconic.
and you kind of feeling like very free around them because they don't really understand kind of this burden that you have. Who is that?
Sen.
Sen? That totally
That's
makes
100%
sense.
Sen.
Totally makes sense. Sen.
Ha ha ha.
Okay. These offer no mechanical advantage, by the way. They're just questions to kind of help flesh things out. Someone makes you feel better about your responsibilities and your burden with a smile and a few kind words. Who is it?
How friendly would you say that Yifeng is?
I would say he's pretty friendly. Gotta be in order to move people through the wilds and
Yeah.
make them feel safe. So
I think there's also that connection because we do something extremely similar where
Yeah.
I make maps and you actually lead people.
yeah, he doesn't make the maps, but
Yeah. I think there's that like camaraderie between us that we're both like out to help people in that
Mhm.
way. I think we can definitely like seek comfort in that. And it's just like, I'm not doing the wrong thing by doing this. Like someone else is also doing this. Like this is good. So yeah, I would say Fang.
Love it. Awesome. So write those in your notes or something. But next up we have Rose. Rose, someone has a way to solve problems with words instead of their fists. It's really impressive. Who is it?
So I don't know who here would be basically the face of the party.
I don't know about Sen.
Not me.
I'm
know that.
No,
My character's definitely a talker.
I feel like Kondo, especially since they seem to be very, like, the masking makes them presentable to anybody and everybody. I'd say Kondo is kind of the person for that.
Yeah, so I would say, like, whenever I had met Kondo, a lot of people would be like looking for trouble, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And then Kondo like
Just
talks
like,
to them,
no.
and they leave, and they're like, you can do that.
The best way to win a fight is not to engage at all.
Oh,
A nomad proverb number 5.
them's fighting
Oh,
words.
I need to make a list of air nomad proverbs.
It should be like, oh man, which character was that in Pulp Fiction? Like, where like you just make up verses all the time.
Yes. On the
Jesus
fly.
said, punch this motherfucker.
I love it. Okay, Rose, next question. You worry that someone won't be able to hold their own when things get tough, and that it's your goal to toughen them up. Who is it?
Sen, you know it's
Not
coming
me.
your way.
No, I'm very tough. I'm very tough. I train every day.
Here comes the boy. Hello, boy.
Welcome.
How can you toughen me up? I'm already so tough. You don't even know.
Okay.
Sweet summer child.
Effie,
Yes.
you recognize some of the pain that you have felt inside of someone, and you want to try to help them. Who is it?
Ooh. Oh. Oh, geez. I want to try to help them. Who here has
All three of us do.
Who has trauma?
We all pain. We
I
all
mean-
trauma.
I have internalized trauma that I try not to project, but you two are full of trauma.
No. Well, does Sen look like the kind of guy that has trauma? He's great. He's having a good time.
that is a flag if you know what to look at.
I'm fine.
When in fact,
I feel like
he was not fine.
I feel like what is it? Kaya probably harbors a lot of just anger in general.
Do you think that,
Anger.
Rose?
That can be
Maybe that's
sadness.
why
the
you guys
pain.
connected. Yeah.
So do I have to feel the same kind of thing or have the same kind
Maybe,
of
like,
reaction?
empathize.
Or
People in pain can often empathize with other people in pain, no matter what kind of pain that is.
okay. I know, because I know for me, he's had family members murdered, just for, and it was mostly just happenstance. So there's a lot of general animosity towards like the chaos that has caused a lot of issues that in turn caused his family members to kind of be in that unfortunate situation. So I guess maybe in a sense that could be like his pursuit, though. It boils down to like, okay, well, all of this stuff happened because the Avatar died, and the Avatar died because of this, sect of people. So as long as you make sure that sects don't try to churn the chaos further. So maybe with Pia specifically, trying to make sure that they don't become a villain themselves.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Who frustrates you a lot when they act without thinking about the consequences?
Now
Well,
I know
please.
that it sounds like Sen. let me give you a good
Does
reason
sound
why
like
it could
Sen.
be.
Okay, all right.
Here's why I think it could be Maddie's character, because like with Sen it's expected. With Maddie's character and they do something flippant, you know that they know better.
Would
Yeah,
Kondo
Sen's
do
just a
something
little
flippant?
literal child.
If there is an opportunity for Kondo to express their acting abilities, then of course they are going to do it. They'll be like,
Okay.
let me get the spotlight for a second. Just let me put us all in danger by pretending to be a red lotus.
Yeah, isn't like your
Which-
playbook play like that
Yeah.
for disguising is that there
Legit.
has to be an element of ridiculousness to it.
Yes, I have
Right, yeah.
every single one of my outfits or all of my costumes. They all have to be really funny with really funny names. I'm Flamio Hotman, all the time.
I like the idea
You're-
that they're disguising as a red
Now,
lotus
now
and
it
they
still
just-
can be Sen. I'm just saying I wanted to make the case for it to be not Sen this time.
I disguise myself as Zahir, and I'm just like, I'm back from the dead.
You're
Woo!
Digonsaurus Rick.
Yes. I'm Digonsaurus Rick. He is a
The
dinosaur.
pickle condo.
Lieutenant Rick Diggins.
Uh,
He's a spaceman.
Officer.
I hope that in some of Kondo's shenanigans that frustrate Yifeng, that they succeed in their shenanigans, whatever it is,
100%. Yep.
and then it's just like, well, nothing bad happened. It's like,
I told you I'd get us out of this.
What kind of GM would I be if I let shenanigans not succeed every once in a while?
It's all on the rolls.
Yep, that's true. That's true. All right, last but not least, Josh. And maybe this is this first question is more of a fear than something people know, since largely you all just met. But someone has major concerns, fears, or grievances with your lineage and with you by proxy. Who do you think that would be?
I have a case for Yifeng.
Okay.
I know that some bad things happened to their family. I'm wondering if the Setsune clan was indirectly connected and that Sen is aware of this, like maybe it was mentioned in passing, and Sen has chosen not to reveal his lineage because of that.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Like
I
maybe
like it.
maybe he told Kondo and Kondo didn't care or didn't know, and that was really great.
I feel like I care considering your lineage is like, oh yeah, you murdered a whole bunch of my people.
That's not common knowledge. That's not common
Oh,
knowledge. All you would know is that
true.
they were for the Fire Lord, they are currently ambassadors. They've always been ambassadors. They've always been the people that were sent out to talk to the Air Nation, the South, the South Water Nation. They're not like Hitler in history. They're the kind of people that don't have names in history.
They're the secret police.
Mhm.
They're the Dai Li of the Fire Nation.
Ish. It's kind of like I don't know. Like they do look out for themselves a
Murder
lot,
your
and
family.
I consider them as like the pet panther that the Fire Lord had declawed for a long time.
Gotcha. Okay. Someone seems free of their past in a way that you wish you could let go of yours. Hearing them talk about their future feels amazing to listen to.
Literally, Rose does not remember their past. It's all future,
It's so
baby.
free of my past, it doesn't
True.
exist for me.
I'm torn between both of your characters because both of you are free in different ways. Or Rose's character is literally free of their past and they know exactly what they want to do with their lives, and to another degree, Maddie's character is embodies freedom And
So you think, at least.
yeah, well, absolutely.
That's
He has a hard time with idolizing people. Like, he's literally going out there to find someone that doesn't exist to replace himself because he idolizes the idea of them. So like, I don't know, like, sure, like I like the idea of Rose's character not necessarily respecting Sen's ideas, but Sen really liking him. Wait, isn't Rose's character trying to train me to be stronger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that for now. You
Heck
seem
yeah.
free of your past, and that's pretty great. You live off the land.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can't do any of that.
Love it. I'm excited. Okay. Well, with all of that said, I think we have the makings of a great first pilot episode leading into an actual first episode once the series gets picked up. So again, we're gonna go around real quick. Everybody say who you are, where we can find you. We'll start with Matt.
My name's Matihi, and about Mihi, you can find me on Twitch at Matihi, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Matty Matihi. And you can also find me at Fridays at 7, a Discord group which is all about gaming. Currently there is a D&D game going on. There are 2 slots open, one for Friday, one for Sunday. They play bi-weekly and at 10 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. Run by a really awesome GM named Dr. Danish, or at least that is their handle. They're very fantastic, and they have a very deep voice, and you're like, okay. But in like, and you're like,
But in a
never
cool
mind.
way.
Is this a... Nope, I'm not gonna say it. Daddy? Sorry.
Daddy?
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 Oh my gosh.
He's a father though. But yeah, that's me.
A literal daddy.
A literal daddy.
All right.
Sorry.
Next up, we have Josh. Josh, who are you? How can we
chat-
find you?
Chat already tried the mirror thing. It was a lie. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. That was a misstep. I can actually be found on Friday if you go to your nearest CVS and you ask for the Fortnite burger. I
Gotta
will
floss
appear.
after eating it.
Yeah, I will appear as dressed up as Ninja Blevins himself, and I will give you 4 free V-Bucks. So
Wow.
that's where you can find me.
4 free V-Bucks.
Yeah, 4. That
Incredible.
can get you like almost a 100th of a skin. So
Oh,
Wow.
It's very generous of you.
yeah.
All right. Next up, Rose. Why don't you tell us who you are, where we can find you?
So I don't have much of a social media presence, and I know this has raised some concerns last time I said it. It's actually because I'm a simulation. I don't really exist. You would only find me in Fridays at 7s because I was actually created by Mati to run games in that
True.
server,
Yeah.
and that's all I do. Other than
There we
that, as
go.
I had mentioned in the beginning, in a more serious part, if anybody knows kind of more about me, please do not mention it. This is kind of a safe space for me, so please help me keep it that way. And yeah, I basically
ban
am
you.
always at
Yeah, back off.
Yeah, I literally I will automatically ban
Immediately.
you if
Ban!
anything is said.
yeah.
You are protected here.
Yeah. But other than that, you can always find me where I'm being simulated in Fridays at 7s.
Love it. And I'm glad we got like the video function of the simulations working.
We're having to
welcome.
use metahumans. It's a new program.
Yeah.
Very
Emma is
advanced.
the only real person here.
Yeah.
It's all chat bots.
It's true. I am
Alright.
just the most ideal human, so
True.
I have to
YouTuber.
be
It's
fake.
true.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have the incomparable, the stunning, the extraordinary TikTok legend,
TikTok.
Effie.
The boy.
Here
Boy.
comes the boy.
Oh boy!
Welcome Yes,
There
I'm
she is.
Effie here, but I am a Lorviel on the only social media that I'm actually active in, which is TikTok and Instagram. So I do art. So that's the only content I do.
Love it. Perfect. And
Duet
the art's real good. So go take a look. And yeah, so the next time we're going to be playing is 2 Fridays from now. This is gonna be a every other week game on Fridays. Well, hold on, let me make sure. So the next
On the first.
on the first, Matt, are
Day-
you good to play then? Because that
I
will be
am.
the night
My
before.
My flight's in like right before noon, so I'll be good.
Okay, cool. So we'll be playing on the first. Please look forward to it. We're gonna have a grand old time playing this game. As always, if you have any questions or you want to hang out with us or talk to us about the game or get more information, you can join us on my Discord and hang out. But yeah.
And hang out.
Stick around for just a minute. We're gonna raid a good friend of mine who started streaming recently, who's going to be a VTuber. Their model is being worked on. I'm really excited to see their model be done, but they're a fun time. Largely they play like fighting games and stuff, but I see that he's playing Ninja Gaiden right now.
It's Ninja? The Blev?
Gaiden.
He's gonna be a VTuber? You heard it here first.
No, Josh, you're not gonna be a VTuber.
Because you're ninja.
We're gonna raid him. Thank you all for hanging out with us, and I hope you have a great one.
Bye.
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 Make sure to tune in.
Uh,
Ah, yeah, we're on.